Hi everyone, this is Eliza and welcome back to Eliza's Bookshelf. Welcome if you're new. Today I am going to go over all the books that I read in April. And April was a pretty good reading month for me in terms of like how much I read and how much I enjoyed these books. I read a lot of them like early on in April, and then near the end I kind of tapered off because I don't know, I just couldn't read when we were on the cruise ship. I took some medicine and it just made my vision kind of blurry. So I couldn't read that much, and so that took out like a week. But anyway, so I think I'm gonna do what I did in the past and just rate them or rank them from least enjoyed to my favorite of the month. And so give me a moment while I space these out. It's kind of easy knowing which one's like mediocre and which ones are my favorite and which one I did not enjoy. So let me just move these around. So this in the, yep, this one goes over here. This one's over here. This one's over here. This one maybe right here. Oh my gosh, there's so many books that I enjoyed. Ooh, this one is right in the middle. This one, not too good. Okay, let's see. Okay, so this one is on the bottom. I put these in like general buckets here. So unfortunately, on the bottom of the list, I have Wings, Once Cursed and Bound by Piper J. Drake. I was so excited for this one actually. It's about this girl who is actually a Thai bird princess. Her name is Pierfon. I love her name, but she goes by Punch. That's her nickname. That's Punch. People call her Punch in here. I don't know if I like her nickname, but anyways, that's not what I did not like about this book. She is a Thai bird princess, and she doesn't really know much about her history or any powers, but she's just living her life as a dancer. And one day her friend or some dancer, she's like, oh, why don't you use these red shoes that I found somewhere? So she puts them on and she's like about to go dance with them. Turns out these red heels or slippers or whatever are cursed. And so in comes this other mysterious guy who is part of this big organization that works together to hunt down these magical cursed objects so that it doesn't get into the hands of the wrong people, because these heels, they're cursed. Whoever puts them on, they're forced to dance until they die of exhaustion, I guess. But I mean, the premise I thought I would like. I thought I would love this book, but I didn't feel any connection to any of the relationships between the people, especially between like Pierfan and that guy, mysterious guy, what's his name? I don't remember what his name is, Bennett, right? And then you have like the group that Bennett is from. You have so many different creatures or mythological people. You have vampires, you have fae, you have dragons. What else? Werewolves, probably. I'm probably missing. Whatever you think of, they're in there. And so I thought it was going to be focused on like, you know, Thai mythology. And I was really excited because you don't hear a lot about that. So unfortunately, this was a miss for me. I might pick up the second book. It is part of a series. It's the first one, but I might pick up the second one though, because the way this book ended, it kind of sets it up for the main character to find out more about her own magical history. So maybe that one would be better for me because it was what I was expecting. It's marketed for like fans of JLA and Sarah J Maas, so it was okay. All right, so that was on the bottom, unfortunately. The next two were okay. I have, what do I want to talk about first? So aside from that book, everything else here I overall enjoyed. Just some I enjoyed more than others. So these two books I still enjoyed, but I don't know, which one do I want to talk about first? Maybe this one. The Love Wager by Lynn Painter. This one, I mean, I'm putting it a little bit lower on the list because I honestly don't remember many details about this. It was just okay and a little bit on the boring side until the end where something happened and it actually like tugged at my heartstrings, and that's why I rated it a little bit higher. I think I gave it like 3 stars. But you have these two who met at this wedding where he was a part of, and then she was bartending. And then they have a one-night stand, and then the next day they just go like their separate ways until they find each other on dating apps. And they message each other and they're like, oh, I'm not interested in dating you, but I just want to see how your dating is going. And so they make a bet, like whoever finds their true love or whatever wins the bet. And she would get like some crazy like trip, and I don't know what he would get, but I don't know, I totally forgot. But anyways, it reminded me of Josh and Hazel's Guide to Not Dating. I mean, not the book itself, but the premise, like the, you know, it reminded me of Josh and Hazel's Guide to Not Dating, because they're kind of like dating side by side. You know, they're going on their dates and they're like, oh, how's your date? Afterwards, they just go to eat tacos together. So overall it was okay. It was entertaining, but yeah, not too high praises there. Okay, the other one is What Lies Between Us. This one was crazy, like twisted and very dark. Yeah, these people are effed up. So you have two people in a house. One is like chained up in the attic and you don't know why. And when I read the synopsis, I assumed that they were sisters or something, but actually one of them is the mom. And so the mom is like stuck upstairs. She's chained down there and the daughter's like going about her daily life. And when you're reading the whole story, you're like, what is going on? Why is this person doing this? And then there's like twists and turns in the end that I thought I knew what was going to happen, but it did not turn out that way. So I like this one. It's just very twisted and like these people are not good people. It's kind of sad actually what happened. But anyways, okay. So the next couple books I enjoyed as well. Like April was a good reading month. A lot of these were 5 stars, I think. So what do I want to talk about first? I want to talk about A Taste of Poison. This is by Tassanja Adet, and it's actually a part of a big series that she has. Oh, this is Entangled with the Fae, and then she has like another trilogy that's set in this world like years before, I think, following one couple. But this series, it's like 4 or 5 books so far, and each book follows a couple, and she said that you can read them as standalone. This is number 4, I think, and it is a Snow White retelling. Each book is like a different retelling. You have mermaid retelling, you have Cinderella, so it's pretty interesting. What I loved is that I got the hardcover, and the hardcover has such pretty art. I think she drew it herself, and it's just like nice matte feel. I feel like this is a very well made book. It's like nice and heavy, the paper's very thick. So yeah, I bought the hardcover because it's so pretty, and I actually bought the other hardcovers and they're coming in soon. So this is a Snow White retelling and it's super funny. I think the banter was hilarious. Astrid and then Torben. These names. Okay, Torben. Astrid is, you know, Snow White. I mean, her last name was Snow. Yeah, Astrid Snow. So her father dies by poisoning and everyone is blaming her because what? Oh my gosh, my daughter is trying to get into the video any way she can and her finger is just like pointing at me here. Anyway, so, and her stepmother is blaming her because, I don't know, for whatever reason, right? And she is sending people to come after her. Astrid Snow runs away, but you know, this huntsman, Torben, is getting her, and he is a shapeshifter. He turns into a bear. That's cute and cuddly. But anyways, he gets sucked into this deal with the queen because he has gambling debt and I don't know, he's like trapped for centuries into this huntsman job. And so the queen gives him a deal, like, if you get my daughter, come back here, I need her heart. Just pull out her heart. If you give me her heart, then I will release you from this deal. So he's like, all right then, cool. What's one person dead, right? He doesn't even know this person. I'm just gonna kill her and then I'm free. Oh my gosh, it's so crazy. Obviously it doesn't work out for him that way. And so they're trying to figure out like, what do we do? Because I'm supposed to come back with your heart or else she'll kill me. I don't know. So it's crazy. I thought it was so funny. The relationship is funny. They're so sweet to each other. He's like very cuddly. I think like something happens, but he turns into a bear and she's like, ooh, your hair is so soft. I don't know. I thought it was cute. So there's this one. And then we have Foxglove King. I really like this one too. It's by Hannah Witten. It's a start of a new series using necromancy. And so honestly, I forget all the details, but basically she, whatever her name is, what is her name? Lore. Such a cute name. So Lore here, she has powers to like raise the dead or something, but honestly, like people are not supposed to know that she has this power. But what else is going on? She's like selling, she sells drugs too. She's like a underground drug seller and also can raise the dead, like pulling life from people and putting life into people. I don't know, but Lore is a special one because she not only is able to do that, but she is actually able to like pull all of death out of someone and raise them back from the dead. And so it's crazy. Anyway, so something happens and because she gets caught in this like, you know, deal gone wrong, The people who captured her is like, hey, something is happening. I need you to spy on my son. Yeah, she gets sucked into like the higher officials, and so they're trying to get her to spy on someone. It's a lot of like political spying and things like that in order for her to get evidence that the prince is like trying to set up something against the kingdom. I don't know if I explained that wrong, very poorly, but she is trying to spy on these people to get evidence and collect it for the king, and she's trying to like, you know, the king is very, very convinced that his son is in on something and very suspicious, right? And so she's trying to do that. So she's working with this guard. She is spying on this prince. There's like a love triangle going on. But honestly, the one that I'm rooting for is this guy right here. I like this one. So when I opened this a long time ago, I was like, is this like the same characters? Obviously not, because they look totally different. This is the other. This is like the bodyguard or whatever, right? He's part of what? He's like a monk? He is a duke turned monk. Yeah, so he's like celibate and, you know, sexually frustrated probably. But anyways, I really enjoyed it. And the ending, it's not like a terrible cliffhanger, but you do want to know what happens next, right? And so I am so excited. This is my Fairy Loot edition. It's so cute. Okay, so next one is Untainted. I like this one too. Actually, you know what? I may like Foxglove King a little bit better than this one, but anyways, they're like kind of the same page for me. So Untainted, I did this as a read along on Facebook group, but this is my bookish box edition. So cute. I think if I open the book a lot though, the pages kind of like get separated, and I don't know, but I essentially read the book like this because I didn't want to ruin the book. Anyways, so Untainted, let me try to remember if I know the synopsis. So this girl and this guy, they get like separated, right? You know that these two are the ones separated. So that's like the beginning scene. They're separated when they're young, super young. She's like 5, he's 10, I don't know. And then years later, you find out where she ended up. And then the guy comes in later, but she essentially is working as like an assistant. I don't know. Let's see. It doesn't really say in the synopsis. Anyway, she's like working with this guy who took her in, right? And she's just doing things like sharpening swords for him, and that's just her life. And then so one day she is out with that group and she spies someone who is, I don't know, trying to plot to kill the crown prince or something. So she gets in with that one, and you know, I don't want to tell you who it is, but it's pretty obvious who it is, right? And so that person is kind of like offering her like information about what her past is really like, and he needs her help for something that is going on in his kingdom. Yes, I believe there are kingdoms. Oh Jesus, I'm so bad. I totally forgot everything about this book, but I remember enjoying it. I don't know. I'm like imagining this island, right? It's always some sort of island. She lives over here, he lives over there, and something's going on and he needs her help to save his area, but she's over here. I don't know. I honestly don't remember, but let me just show you the artwork because the artwork is beautiful. And there we go. And here you go. I don't even remember the trope. Is it like enemies to lovers? I'm telling you, I enjoyed this book, but like the details are slipping my mind right now, so I'm so sorry. But I'm putting that there. These other ones I really enjoyed, and so I'm gonna put my favorite one over here, and my other favorite one over here, and my favorite one right here. And so, okay, so these three I'll talk about next. So hard kind of like ranking them. So this book actually my friend wrote. She is amazing. She's crazy. She's my coworker and my friend, and she wrote this science fiction book, kind of like a dystopian book. So, and it's still new, and so she gave it to me to beta read. I couldn't really read by PDF, so I put it in like a Word doc and I printed it all out, and I actually binded my first ever book. I've always wanted to, but she gave me that push that I needed, and so I bound her book, and it's like really sloppy, but it's my first try, so I'm pretty proud of it. I didn't use like specific book cloth, and so I just used like cardstock, And it's fine, it's cool. You know, I used purple and then gray for the sides right here. But the end papers, look at the end papers that I used for this book. I actually bought, I'm so extra, I bought a paper cutter just for this. I spent like 200 bucks, but it's like, it was so satisfying when I cut her book. I was like, this was worth it, totally. And so the edges are nice and straight. I should have painted the edges too, but anyways, I used regular copy paper, so it's not like the you know, when you open books, you're used to these like soft, kind of grainy feel. So I used regular copy paper. I still like it. It's like, and then I was able to put all my like notes in here. I don't know. I'm so excited. I definitely texted her right away when I was finished, and I was like, look, it's amazing. Anyways, sorry to digress, but her book is called North Star Reborn. I actually put like gold foil on it too. Next, I want to learn how to like emboss, or I don't know if that's a word, but basically like press down so that there's indents in the book, but I don't know. So I like designed this cover and I put gold foiling on it, and I used my, what did I use? I used the laminator because you just use that to heat and stuff and it'll transfer. But I mean, it didn't transfer too well. On video, it looks better than it does in person. So yeah, North Star Reborn. It is by my friend. I just love the world building that my friend, like, she created this stuff in her mind, and it's just so crazy to think about because it's wild. Like, she's a full-time doctor and she has like a lot of kids, just like I do, but she had the time to write a full-on novel, and it's gonna be a duology, and she hasn't written the second one yet, and I'm just dying to read it. But basically, you have this girl and her family. They're like part of this rebellion outside of these colonies, right? And there's like this Polaris, which is this mysterious machine that can give people infinity energy and really help people out, but in the wrong hands it can be very bad. And so there's like different colonies that has different pieces of this Polaris. Anyways, I don't want to like spoil everything, but this family, this main girl, what is her name? I don't have like a synopsis thing to read, but what is her name? Kara? Yeah, Kara. I don't know how she pronounces it, but this girl, like, she and her family are out in the outskirts and something happens, things explode, and she gets caught back into these colonies. And so she's like, they're all like enslaved again, but they're trying to like work with them, but they do want to escape. So there's a lot of details in this book that I love that my friend thought of. Like, there's little trackers in their collar so that people know exactly where they are at all times. There's like a anti-escape mechanism, so if you take it out, you like die. Oh my god, it's just, there's a lot of sad parts too. So, oh my gosh, I can't speak enough about this book. This was great. I can't wait. I just want her to get everything she wants in terms of her book. Like, I want her to get signed. I want her to get artists for her cover and stuff like that. I want her to be at my future bookstore that I want to open with my, thank you. I want her to be at my future bookstore that I want to open with my other coworker. I don't know. I just have so many dreams and plans for her. But anyway, so that is one. The other one is The Night Shift. This is by Alex Finlay. This is my first, this is my second book from him actually. I read his most recent one that came out this year, but I liked it, and so people said that they liked this book better, so I finally read it and I liked it. So you have like a massacre that happened a long time ago at a Blockbuster video area, and then you have another massacre that happened at this ice cream store decades later. Years later, I don't know how long it was, but let's say a decade. So 2 decades, I don't know. So years later, there's another massacre at an ice cream shop, and there's like similarities to each, and it's both in the same town-ish area. So trying to figure out if there's any similarities, if they can finally catch the killer, because the, you know, accused killer from a long time ago, and he actually escaped. So they don't know if, is it him or is it someone else? I don't know. So I thought it was pretty interesting. I like the twist and like the relationships between people. It's pretty good. I like this one. And then we have The Last Party. I'm pretty sure I talked about this in another video before, maybe like my old, you know, the read 5 and then buy, which I think I will bring back sometime soon. Anyway, so The Last Party, you have this party along like the borders of Wales and England. There is a map in here, so let me just make sure if I am right. Wales and England, yes. So there's a party in this lake that overlies the Wales and England border. And at that party, well, the next day, this guy is found dead in the lake, and you know, they were all at the same party, so they're trying to figure out who killed this guy. And honestly, like, it's just hilarious. It's just so hilarious how bad this guy is, that everyone that they talk to has some sort of motive for killing this guy. He is not a good guy. Anyways, I loved it because the leading detectives in this mystery, you have Morgan, is that her name? Fionn Morgan, that's her name. And then the guy, they have to have two because the fact that it is overlapping both Wales and the English territory, you know, you have one from each so that they can get information. Anyways, the both of them, the way they work together, it's just like there's so much tension because the way they started out, the way they met each other, it's like, uh-oh, you know, so it's a little, it can be a little bit awkward, but like the tension, I'm like, ooh. I hope these both continue in the second book. The second book comes out this year, I think, but it's like the Fionn Morgan series, so I don't know if that guy will always be there, but I hope he is. Anyway, so that's the other ones. Okay, and the other books that I want to talk about, I actually don't know which one is my third or second favorite. I don't know. Maybe I'll talk about this one. Okay, Abby Jimenez, Yours Truly. So I read this. I finished this. I don't know. I think this is one of the last books that I finished in April. I read this pretty quickly over a span of 24 hours. I like it better than Part of Your World. Apparently it is in the same series. I had no idea, but honestly, I didn't even notice it because whoever the couple was in the first book probably played a minor part in this book, because they don't talk about another couple that often where I'm like, hey, did you have your own book? But anyways, I did read Part of Your World. I thought it was okay. I read this one. I love this one, actually. So in terms of Abby Jimenez's book, I think this is my second favorite. My first favorite probably is Life's Too Short still, because there's one thing I did not like about this book. Overall, I enjoyed it though. Overall, I love this book. You have these two emergency room doctors. They're actually both emergency room doctors. I was talking to my coworker slash friend, book bestie now. So I was talking to her about how I don't really like reading about doctors because that's like my life, right? I like go to work 8 hours a day and I want to come home. I don't want to read about doctors again, right? And so I told her about that. She's like, but Yours Truly is about two doctors. I was like, what? Really? And so I was kind of like, you know, worried going in, but like honestly, it was not an issue. These two people are emergency room doctors. She is trying to like get this, she's trying to be like the chief of emergency medicine department, I think. And then so this new guy comes in, he transfers from another hospital, but he's been there not that long and already is being put up for the job. So she's like, I hate him. I hate his guts. Who does he think he is? Just because he's a man? I don't know. She probably didn't say that. And so there's some like enemies to lovers there, but that, you know, it wasn't a bad enemies to lovers. He's the one that has the social anxiety, and I loved it so much the way they portray him. I loved it. And honestly, this like makes me think about like, this is why I read books, because you just like gain so much empathy for other people in different situations that you normally wouldn't be exposed to yourself. And so even after reading this book, and I know all about anxiety, depression and stuff like that, bless you, but after reading this book, it actually made me understand my husband a little bit better. I'm like, hey, this seems to be like how you react in such and such situations. Is this how you're feeling? And you know, guys, they never really like express themselves, right? So I love this book. It's just a prime example of like people can learn about others so well by reading, and I loved it. The only thing I didn't like is this miscommunication trope. I don't know if it's trope, but it's a thing. And it never really bothered me until this book, because I was like, this is going on for longer than needed. Why don't they just talk to each other? And there's like another trope at the end that I know people don't like. It didn't bother me, but I know a lot of people don't like this specific trope. I don't want to say it because it's kind of little spoilers, but overall, I love this book. They were so cute. They like, for him to overcome his anxiety, he like started writing letters to her, and so that's how they became closer, and he eventually was comfortable with her, but their letters are so darn cute. So yes, I like that one. Next, I want to talk about A River Enchanted. This one was so beautiful. Like, her writing is different than what I'm used to, so it's very like magical. I don't know, I just love it. And so I finally read this one. It's a chunkster of a book, so it's like 450 pages, but it's pretty chunky. And so I finally read this one. It's one of my like page pusher things for book of the month. And so I love this so much. This guy, Jack, he used to be part of this island. What is the island called? Cadence. Enchantments run deep on Cadence. So it's like a very magical island or isle, right? And Jack used to be part of this place, but he left as a young kid. I think he was kind of like banished, and so he made a life for himself on the main island, right? He's like going to school, studying music. He's like a music teacher. He teaches harps. He's like harpist. Is that what they're called? Anyway, so he has to come back because someone on the isle sent a letter to him and was like, come back, we need your help. So on the isle, or Cadence, the island Cadence, on the isle, the little girls are going missing. So you have like a couple missing already, and they need him to come back and play his harp to like sing to the spirits. You have like spirits of the earth, spirits of the wind, spirits of the water, and so he has to sing to them to call them forth and ask them questions like, hey, are you guys the one who are stealing our children, or is it someone else? Like, you know everything that's going on. Can you see who has been coming to our homes and stealing our kids? And so it's crazy. And yeah, he comes back, and there's like the woman Adara. I think they like hated each other as kids, but they don't anymore. I just like reading about their relationship, and like there's another couple there too, reading about their relationship. It's like these two people, and like there's a daughter involved. Anyways, I don't want to say too much, but there's like two couples, and I thought there was only one couple, like Jack and Adara, but there's another couple that I actually really liked, possibly even more than this main couple. Anyway, so I want to read the second book. It is a duology. The second one is The Fire, I don't know what it's called, but A Fire Endless. Yeah, I think it's called A Fire Endless, and I do want to read it soon to see what happens to my lovely people. Yeah, because there's like another thing that they have to figure out in the second book. So this one did wrap up, but something happened to lead you into the next book, and then you have like the problem in the next book. All right, going to my number one favorite book that I read in April. And when I tell you April was a good reading month, it was a good reading month. I read a lot of books that I really enjoyed, but this one is a standout. It's actually my favorite of 2023 so far, and I honestly have 3 copies of this book. One copy is because it was a little damaged, like water damage, so I bought another copy, and then the other copy is because my friend told me about the Barnes & Nobles, or like the regular version of this book in US. It's really cute. But Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies. Fairies. I say that because it's spelled like that, you know? I want the Fairy Loot edition, the special edition, but people are just selling them for an insane amount, like over $100. So I don't like it that much, but time will tell. Anyways, I just thought it was so cute and so charming, and so like it's a warm hug. This is what I think about when people talk about like cozy fantasy. And so you have Emily Wilde, who is trying to finish her Encyclopedia of Fairies, but she has to go to this place to document like this last group of fairies that a lot of people have not written about, right? And so she travels there, and then her colleague is back home, right? But he sends her a letter. They have like a funny dynamic going on here. He's always making fun of her, how messy she is, how she stays in all the time and just studies, and makes fun of her clothes even. They have a funny relationship, but honestly, they're like my favorite couple. He would do anything for her. He would kill for her, but I love it so much. So the area that she goes to study, she actually encounters like this issue. So she's trying to solve that mystery. So you have like a mystery going on, and then she also is trying to figure out the mystery of her colleague. She like has some suspicions about him. So we find out more about his history and what he's got going on. There's a different side story for him too. And I think the next book goes into his thing. We'll see. But yeah, this is my number one favorite book of April and 2023. If you guys have read it and loved it, just let me know so I can gush over the main characters with you. But yes, I hope you guys liked my big April wrap up. There's like so many books here. I don't even know if I want to carry it all. So, So this is my April wrap up, all the books that I read in April and enjoyed, and it was such a good reading month. But thank you so much, you guys, for joining me again. I will see you next time. Bye.